The UN Environment Assembly meeting enters the second day this morning with the problem of poaching expected to take center stage.
KTN's Rita Tinana, who's covering the week-long conference, spoke to Environment Cabinet Secretary Professor Judy Wahungu on the future of Kenya's wildlife.
Here now is part of that exclusive interview.
Kenya has hosted UNEP since 1972, and so we've made significant progress in that period of time to be elevated from a program to the UNEP Assembly. The reason this is significant is now we move from being a 58-member state program to a fully fledged 193-member assembly. This means that we are as important as other aspects of the UN, and this include, for example, peace and conflict and finance, etc. It's an extremely important platform for us to have. We also have the distinction now of being the only country in the developing world that is hosting a fully fledged UN entity. Of this, we are very, very proud because we've put in 40 years of hard work and labor.
What issues as Cabinet Secretary for Environment will you be bringing to this platform, which is really, you have global attention?
The issues that will be taken to the forefront at this particular meeting include climate change, environmental governance, environmental law, ecosystems management, in input in terms of the sustainable development goals, renewable energy, greener cities, and so on and so forth.
The illegal trade in Ivory will be among the issues that will be up for discussion, I believe, on Wednesday at the Assembly. Here in Kenya, this is an issue that is perhaps all too familiar. Has poaching reached crisis levels?
First of all, for poaching, we've been under high alert. Yes, it is a serious concern. This concern is an international concern. It is not even just poaching, it is crime. It's economic sabotage. Using the word poaching actually limits the extent of the damage that it's being done. In terms of as a region, I think that we have leveled off. The numbers are a concern, but we have leveled off and are doing our best to control it. What we are trying to do now is to put in measures where we work with our international partners in terms of surveillance, in terms of intelligence, and also in terms of enforcement. We also know it's important that even though we put in these security measures, we're still going to lose the war if we don't address the markets. So what we've started this year, especially from the major conference that was sponsored by their Royal Highnesses in February, is to start a campaign of looking at the markets on the demand side.
You speak about dealing with the markets. The Far East, of course, seen as the biggest market for ivory, and Kenya has been of late in close contact with China. What sort of engagement exactly are you seeking with China in the fight against poaching? Just the other day, China gave about 800 million shillings to Kenya. Where will that money exactly be going to?
In terms of addressing the markets, I mentioned that we have signed MOUs and have done so twice. And this is to raise awareness, but ultimately our goal is to have a total ban. When it comes to the grant from our partners in China, there are two ways in which we are hoping to use this. One is to equip our rangers because they're not that well equipped on the ground, and we are already doing so, to strengthen them. As a force in terms of surveillance, in terms of protecting themselves, and in terms of coping with just the magnitude of the problem on the ground. On the other side is also some conservation efforts, for example, conserving our water catchment areas by planting a bamboo. And since the Chinese are very well advanced in their use of bamboo, we hope that by planting this bamboo, we'll be able to rehabilitate both the water catchment areas, but then also promote the use of bamboo as a material to produce other products.
Just a few days ago, President Uhuru Kenyatta placed the Kenyan Wildlife Service and other agencies such as the Kenya Forest Service under the Inspector General of Police, David Kimayo. Bearing in mind that the police do not have the best of reputations when it comes to corruption, where does this leave the country's wildlife? What will it change?
What the President has directed is extremely important, and it's extremely timely that we then work as one unit when it comes to these security measures as one team under the command of the IG. And I think that this is timely and it's important.
What would you say is the state of the country's environment? Several initiatives, of course, are underway. For instance, the campaign to increase the country's forest cover has been going on for years. Some would argue it is not achieving much.
What the Jubilee government has achieved is about 7%. So now we're at 7%. We're still hoping to achieve 20. I was hoping that we would achieve 10% by 2020, but very recently the president directed me for this to happen faster. So we're busy doing that. As of now, given our 50 million tree planning activity, I think we have I'm told we're about 36 million trees. So we still have quite a bit of work to do. What we do know is that we can achieve the 10% cover. Now, here's the challenge. The challenge is that we are doing a lot of rehabilitation, but on the other hand, as you can see, if you go around the country, there's still quite a bit of damage that is being done. So we have to now improve our governance and improve our enforcement and increase the penalties for the damage, because there's no need to have one side doing the rehabilitation and then the other side doing the damage. So we have to improve on that particular aspect.